I don't go anywhere, I'll be right here when you. Goodbye. Didn't wanna go back to mine, but it was late. It was just another night at your place. Last time that I saw you, couldn't let me go. Told me that you liked how we were getting close, and I was getting used to not being alone. Told me that you liked how we were getting close. I didn't know that when I said goodbye, I would be saying it for the last time. I might have stayed a little longer that night. If I would've known it was the last time. Didn't wanna go back to mine, but it was late. It was just another night at your place. Didn't wanna go back to mine, but it was late. It was just another night at your place.
Cool. Let's get started, guys. Welcome to the call. For those of you who don't know me, I think I spoke to a couple of you. What's up, Andrew, man? How you doing? My name is Gaurav. I'm over here across the pond from you guys in UK, and just like yourself, I'm a student of Mike. Just really been putting my head down and learning the skill set. Just like yourself, as I said. So just to obviously kick things off, I don't want to come across here that I know more than you, hence why I'm doing this call. I'm an equal believer of each one teach one kind of thing. So I believe there's some things that I can help you with, and there's some things that you can help me with, hence why we're here, right? And just elevate the community, because we make the community what it is. So before I do want to get started, I actually want to share this with you. I know I've dropped it in the, where is it? Oh yeah, I've dropped it in the mindset and books. This one here. This is something that I'm really enjoying listening to. I also dropped the book, the author, somewhere here. I remember. I know I drop a lot. If you didn't, oh no, it can't be that far back. Oh, this one here, right? So on the 23rd of December last year, I dropped this. I bought this. This is how I came across the author. I bought this book. It was highly recommended, and I've just really enjoyed it. He talks about how you gotta have just different aspect of so many different things. Like you gotta have the patience of an investor, and this week I really felt that, because this week and maybe also last week as well, there weren't a lot of opportunities on the forex market. And this way you gotta have that patience, just really sit down and do nothing much. That's where he comes in. But he also goes into about the psychology of money. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but I would definitely recommend listening to this episode here. I did drop the link, so do that. And then the second thing I was going to say was a lot of you guys still messaging me about this. So just this is something that I've kind of I've put through, and I'm adding more to it. It's simply because it's simply like me going through the videos, and as Mike talks about a specific topic, for example, number 16, re-entries in schematics, then you can just come on here and then watch this. Because last year when I was in December, when I was going through kind of rewatching some of this stuff, I was finding it really hard because I know Mike, in a 2-hour session, he might talk about 5 different amazing topics, but I didn't really want to what's up, bro? I didn't really want to watch the whole 2 hours. So here I really broke it down. The only thing I would ask from you guys is your input in terms of when you're watching it, when you're watching one of his previous recordings or trainings, then you come across something like a new topic that's not on here, just send it over to me and I can add it on here so someone else may enjoy that. So that's just something I wanted to kind of get into real quick. But today I just wanted to go over I had an alert go off sometime. I had an alert on UK100, which is something that I don't trade, but I was just watching it. And it went off. Oh, there you go. When was this? 9th of February. And simply because we've recovered from that COVID drop here. So I wanted to kind of just go over and backtest, some of the opportunities that we could have caught in something like this. Okay, and I'm a true believer that the strategy, the concept, whatever you want to call it, is universal in any price action chart, such as crypto, forex, futures, indices, anything you name it, right? So why don't we backtest those? So that way you can just open up what Mike calls like a volleyball account and then just trade that. So that's like 2 different things, income streams, if you want to look at it. So what I want to do, I don't want to go back too much, like this is 2016. I just want to go back to like this COVID drop here, and let's do the top down on this, right? So looking at this, it's gonna come down to like a bit choppy. And again, as I said at the start of the call, guys, do stop me if you have something that you do agree with, or also that you don't agree with. Maybe you're seeing it differently. I would love to get your input, just like we do normally. So okay, we can clearly see this is an upward market, right? We've got the somewhat accumulation in here, going into reaccumulation, going into reaccumulation, going into, well, once we break this high, it will be a reaccumulation kind of thing. I'm not really too focused on the monthly time frame because I would just be waiting forever. But when we do look at this, right? Let me just do, this is forex.com. My bad. Let me do. Oh God. Wonder. Yeah, do that one. Yeah, that one's better. Okay. Yeah, so just got less data. Okay, cool. Yeah, when we're looking at this, right, let's start with our cycles. We've got, we can even look at wherever this was, right? We can see this is a clear distro. Okay, this is a clear distro up in here, gone into this reaccumulate.
No.
What's up, man? You good?
No, I don't.
Oops. I think I just muted you by accident, bro. Sorry. Going into accumulation here, right? Now, just looking at this in terms of following up the market cycles we've got. So for me, I would say this came back and mitigated that, this came back and mitigated that, this came back and mitigated this. So the only thing is this hasn't been mitigated. So for me, that would be like the SC that I'll be looking at. And that'll be like this. Well, we can even look at from this area here. This is my bearish SC. Okay, and we can just see how the market is just playing within itself. We can see the accumulation going into this distro and especially into this selling shot here, and we can see what happens, right? We start to get the sellers start to come in, and what do we see? What do we see in here? We get somewhat of a distro. Okay, right, we can see the distro here. 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, get the break, distro pullback to go down. Now, what did this not do? This didn't go, all right, and didn't break the extreme of it, right? It didn't break and didn't make a new low. So to me, this just says they've come back and they mitigated. So they were in drawdown up here, pushed down, came back, mitigated, okay, closed out their sell orders, and then turn around and bought some more. And this is what we're seeing here, right? So distro gone into accumulation into here, turns this whole thing into a reaccumulation for me. Reaccumulation, right? And then we can also see what's happening with our legs. So we've gone and we've made a new high here. Bullish breakout structure. This is higher time frame. High time frame, right? And then now again, following the market cycles, what do we get after a reaccumulation? A distro, right? But the key thing is this distro is made a new high. Okay, the distro happened, they've distributed above this new high after taking out a new high. Okay, after making a new high, sorry, and taking out the previous high. So this to me, just, you know, although we were getting an effective distro, it's still a bullish market, right? So seeing all of this, we can see now, what did I do? Well, this distro, and delete that. Okay, reaccumulated once again, and then we went up. Now for me, I would say this is the whole leg. Okay, this simply just being that reaccumulation. So for me, this will be like the intraday. Okay, and then we got this break here. So at this precise point, what would our legs be? So let's just say just after the COVID, right? Yeah. This is, yeah, this is the break. Bearish. Bearish intraday. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with lower time frame just yet, simply because I'm gonna need to what's it called, directional bias for me to be able to take the trade. So lower time frame is gonna come in slightly later. Okay, now does I guess does everybody agree with what I'm suggesting here in terms of this is our high, this is our new high, this is the leg that's holding the higher time frame, this was the reaccumulation on a 3-day that made a new high, this is what was holding our intraday, and we kind of just broke it. So right now, structure, we are high time frame bullish, and intraday bearish, and obviously lower time frame bearish, because lower time frame is the order flow for intraday. So yeah, there you go, intraday and lower time frame bearish. Okay, now for me, I'm not able to take anything just yet unless it's a sell. Now I'm not really trying to sell anything unless we are back up into here. Okay, because this will be the SC, but this doesn't really say anything, right? This is where we've got a true evidence and proof that the market came in and put in the orders. This was just like that. Okay, this is what you call like the order blocks and whatnot, right? So the only area I'm looking to sell would be up in here, and I'll be looking for my lower time frame to turn bullish. So I'm higher time frame bullish and lower time frame bullish for me to take it back. Now, looking at this, obviously this was last year, a couple of years ago actually. Yeah, so 2020, let's just see what what it does. So here we can see there's some sort of accumulation. Okay, we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 drive here, this the spring, and we get a clear break. Now the only thing is, so can we see if we can get a reaccumulation where the shakeout comes into that spring? Okay, because if it does, then boom, this is a good area for us to buy, because at this point we can see this is a new low, this is a new low, this is a new low. So this is what was holding the lower time frame, which we broke now. Okay. All right, so let's follow this. Let's see what it does. Okay, so we made a new high. All right, so we can see this, this, this. All right, and let's just see. Again, we don't need to catch the bottom. We don't need to catch the top. There's plenty of opportunities in catching, waiting for confirmations. So looking at this, it's not really doing much for me because I'm still waiting for this area up in here. Okay, this is the extreme that I'm willing to buy. Bullish extreme. Okay, so there's how I'm going to be playing it. I can see there's something being formed here. Now what we're not seeing is we're not seeing that weakness coming in. Okay, we're not seeing that weakness coming in. There's two ways I'm going to be playing this. I'm going to be waiting for this area up in here, or I'm going to be waiting for price to make a new high. Okay, now this is my safer option. The reason why is because the only thing this did is just accumulated, and it just accumulated, and then we've kind of gone into a sideways kind of upward movement. Like, what's to say this doesn't turn into our redistro and then price is still going down? Okay, because let's not forget, where are we trading? Okay, because we clearly took out demand here. This demand, the buyers that came in that created this is gone. Price that came in, I mean, here we kind of respected it, but to me, this is much more of an important demand zone than this. Okay, I get that this has broken this. Okay, yes, it does hold value, which is why we're looking at it in the first place. But in terms of cause and effect, this is what was holding my intraday, if that makes sense, right? So so as I said, my option 2 would be my much safer option. So I don't mind waiting maybe a couple of days, couple of months, just for a price to make a new high, and then we come back. Because when we look at order flow now, when we look at lower time frame, we got a low, we got a high. Because we've got a higher high, we've got a higher low. Okay, and this is where we can be looking for price to trade into. So let's see what price action offers us. Let's press that. Okay, so we're getting a little something being formed. We can see something is being created here. Now we just need to wait for price to come into our area. Right now, none of this is attractive to me. Okay, I don't really see price making anything, doing anything, right? I do see price tapping into somewhere. So where did it do that? Okay, so we can see accumulation, reaccumulation, but then again, we do have this bunch of reaccumulation. So which one do we choose? Which one do we say, okay, cool, this is our demand on that price is gonna respect? So for me, I'm not really seeing anything. Okay, so because the only area, as I said, would be here. Now I needed this to come low, but I can already see that price has changed because we took out this supply, we're taking out supply. So as I said, my option 2 would be I want to wait for this to get taken, and then I'm going to start looking at my point of interest. And let me just put that in there. Bullish. Lower time frame. Okay, let's pay attention to what price is doing here, right? It seems to be distributing from this, but what happens the moment it goes and break above this? Okay, it turns into reaccumulation, but not only that, this then becomes my SC, and this whole, whatever this is, accumulation is going to be my extreme, and then this last push down is going to be the spring. Okay, and then we can look at open 50, 80 for price to then tap into, to then, you know, do something like that or something like this. Okay, so let's see, we still need to get that high. Nothing is being done yet until we go and we make that new high. Still nothing yet. And you know, how many people want to free drive? Okay, yeah, we do get a break as well. We'll be looking at sales, but not really getting, this didn't do anything, and this didn't also didn't do anything. So highs and lows, as Mike always says, does not really matter as much. It's about cause and effect. Okay, so what do we have? We get the break. And at the same time, can you guys see the clear reaccumulation? Maybe if I zoom in. Oops, let me do it a bit clearer. 1, 2, free drive. Okay, and this being your shakeout. Okay, so all day, this is where we'll be looking to play. Now, this whole thing, this whole reaccumulation is our SC, as I was saying. And then down below, maybe on a free day, yeah, so that candle there would be the spring, right? Where in whatever form, maybe this was like a type 4 kind of accumulation, or if you want to look at this as the sorry, if you want to look at this as the trading range. Either way, we still got to trade. We got to look at the SC first before it gets clapped. So looking at this, the 12-hour candle looks good. Okay, we can even start labeling it and start looking at our areas. This being the 50%, 12-hour. This being the 80% of the 12-hour. Okay. And then the other thing I like to look for is to see if there's any imbalances. Okay, and we can see that. Right, we can clearly see, maybe try the 4-hour. Yeah, so right, just on that 80%. Balance sitting right there. Okay, now there's a couple of ways that we can look at this. Okay, so this is SC. SC is going to be 0.25% in total, right? So what can we do? And we can break it down. Okay, so if price turns around, comes into here, give me an accumulation, sorry, without tapping into my 80% and goes off, I'm going to be taking a 0.05% risk in here, because this accumulation can easily turn around into a redistro, but that does not mean that the buy idea has been invalidated. Why? Because where is the line in the sand? It's here. So this redistro can then help push price come into where demand is sitting, which is our 80%, which is where I'm going to be sitting with another 0.05, sorry, to then wait for that booth, and then on that pullback, after a booth, which is this, after a reduced risk and after a break even from here, we can look to add another 0.15 risk to go up. Okay, and why am I risking 0.05, 0.05 here? Because then it will be 0.10 if price just goes like that and doesn't come back, doesn't give us an opportunity. So that's how it'll be. And let's just say we've got 15 there, and then we're doing 0.05 up in here. Okay, so let's see now. Right now, I'm going to be waiting for a break. Right now, we can see the price is still in that impulsive move. This is what's holding that order flow. Okay, yeah, there's the break. To then which, what I like to do is I like to see if we get any discounted buying. So use the Fibo, and then okay, I can see the 88. So normally I like to see the 88 lining up with my 80%, something like this. But I mean, I would say it's quite there, but it's not something I'm just gonna purely just set a limit of. But if it lines up with my 80% of the candle, of the full volume candle, then I would just add more confidence to it. It's just like the imbalance, right? If the imbalance is not there, no problem. If it is there, no problem. So there's the pullback we're getting. Okay, now for me, price didn't make a new high here, so this area is I'm still on the lookout for that. And okay, cool. So we tapped into that 50%. Now nothing much. I'm not looking at the 50%. I'm looking at the 80%. And so normally here, real life, what I'll do is I would have an alert saying price tapped into point of interest. Look for an accumulation. Okay, so something like that, right? So we do get a nice reaction. No booth yet. Now for me, I'm gonna invalidate that 80% once when we make this high here. Bullet order flow. And there we go. Okay, so we made that booth, to which then order flow is being maintained here. Okay, and if we go back down, then we'll be back to bearish. Okay, so that's that. Then at the same time, I'm not looking to do anything up until we go and we make a new high, because I'm not going to be looking at just highs and lows. So now what I'll be looking for price to same thing now, make a new high. Why? Because then this is what we'll be holding lower time frame for price to come back up into here. We look for an accumulation, same process like what we was looking up in here. Now I don't actually know if anybody would take that 50%, because I don't trade UK100. I don't know how this works. I'm just going to assume this is like US 30 with 1 point being 1 pip, 1 point being £1 or $1, with the broker that I know. So this would be like $72, £72. Just to make a new high would be 4 to 1. Your 10 to 1 is up in here somewhere. Okay, I mean still pretty much high. Do you stick to higher time frame trades? What do you mean? Do I stick to higher time frame trades? Okay, so let's just right. So now I need that booth. I need that break.
GK.
Okay, yeah, man. What's up?
So what I meant by that was, do you hunt down on the lower time frames for your entries, or like as you're doing here on higher time frames, do you stick your entries to sort of the 1 hour and above 15 really?
I think just because when I was looking at this, I know this is 2020. I don't think we can go back down. But normally, yeah. So normally I would go back. I would go and then I would look at it. I mean, I don't know. Let's try it. I haven't actually looked. So there's 30. Yeah. So yeah, I can't really go back down. But normally I would have a higher point of higher time frame point of interest, and then I'll go into it. Yeah, just like how Mike does it, really. So okay, cool. Right now, this is now invalidated, right? I'm not looking at this trade anymore. Yeah, cool. I'm not looking at this. I guess we can just carry over these risks in a minute when we get a new trade. Hijack and this, I want to delete that, right? Okay, cool. So now what's our leg? So we can see this was the SC that was holding it, made a new high. Okay, now let's try to see if we can find this one here. Now I think when we was looking at it, there wasn't anything. Okay, there's that 1 hour. Maybe we can do 70 minutes. Yeah. I like that 78. It's got a little wick at the bottom, but that's the best I'm gonna do. this is the low, this is the low. So this is the booth. Okay, so this was the low, this was the new low, this was the booth here. Okay, so we've got, I guess we'll look at this as the reaccumulation. So this was the SC within this leg, and then we can also look at this, but this for me is not much. I'll be looking at the, you know, these discounted prices. So guess same thing. I'm gonna just include the wick. Let me try, maybe delete this. Okay, but we know we tapped into demand there anyway, right? I'm gonna delete this as well and just carry this forward. So there's the 80% of the 78 minute. And then there's 50% of that 78 minute. Okay, so those are where I'm looking. As I said, we do also have this as our SC because that was the cause of the break and the new high. But this is my MC. Okay, now for me, I do pay attention to SCs, but from my back testing and my own experience, I've seen SCs just get clapped left, right, and center like there's no tomorrow. Which is why they also don't hold structures. Okay, reaccumulations and redistros don't hold structures. Okay, cool. So let's do the same thing, rinse and repeat. So there. Now I just want to actually show you guys something. You see how we missed this trade here? Oh, I shouldn't have done it, shouldn't I? Okay, yeah. So you guys see how we've missed this trade here, right? Which is a $31, 31 pounds risk. And then this is a 26 point. So yeah, we've missed it. And yeah, we have to wait slightly longer. Well, when price came in, made the high, took about 8 days, and it's currently 9 days now. We're coming back to it. Yeah, you have to wait another 10, 15 days, but the risk to reward is much better. Okay, and then we can see price coming in, and again, same thing. I'm going to be looking for that 0. Let me delete that one. Risk before my limit is going to be here. Risk on the limit is going to be that 0.05. Then after is going to be that 0.15. So I'm going to be looking for an accumulation up in here with this risk. And let's see what we get. Okay, so again, this idea is going to be invalidated once we make a new high. So we tapped into this reaccumulation that we were talking about, and we did just get a mitigation, right? They came in, mitigated, but for me, once we go above this is when I'm going to say, okay, they've done their business. Okay, there you go. So that was that, right? They've done that. Now this, when I was looking at this, where's it gone? This, I think, was the whole move of this last run here, because it went up, right? This was them pushing down into this area here, made a new high and come back about 50%, and then off they went. Okay, so yeah, we missed that. Yeah, we missed that. No worries. We'll look at what's next. Delete that. Put this aside. Put this aside. Put this aside. Okay. Right. Now, what is holding the leg? Because remember, this is just the reaccumulation, and this is what is still holding the leg for me. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Right, so we can see prices coming fairly back into it. to which I'm going to be looking inside here and also inside here, right? Those are going to be my point of interest number 1 and point of interest number 2. Right, so in this, I'm just going to look at the whole move, see if we can get a little something in here, right? And then we've already got that 78% that also needs mitigating, right? Because, you know, once when we got, delete that, this, oops, not doing anymore. Right, this is that leg now. So price come down into a point of interest. Let's see what happens. Right, this is also New York session. So we're in point of interest, right? And then we tap into that 80. Let's see. This is, so this is New York, sorry, this is London action. Right. Oops. Okay, so what did we get? Did we get a booth? Got a low, new low, price making it high. So that's what we need to get, right? Nope, don't get that. So same thing. This is the low, need price to make a new low, then this is what we need to break. Okay, now remember we're coming back into this point of interest now. So this, for me, well, I'm not looking at the SC anymore, but I will be looking at the price action. And then we're coming into this whole move here, right? Now this, they came back 50%, but this still needed to be mitigated up in here. And this is what was holding our leg. So if we can get a nice accumulation in here, take it higher, that'll be super. Okay, so 50% tapped in. Nothing yet because we would have the limit sitting on the 80, and then this is the line in the sun, yeah. And then up to make a new high. Now following this, I think we do have our booth, because when we look at this, so this is our booth here, and I'll be looking for price to then do something like that where we can look to get something else on, or to wait for maybe price make a new low up into that 80. And I believe off it goes. I can see we've got about 4 minutes left as well. So what I'll do is I'll just drop a new link once this is run out. Okay, cool. So this is what happened, right? Price tapped into that 50, and then now we're gone. But we can now still carry on playing the continuation of it. Okay, up to go and make a new high. Right. So now for me, I am going to go and delete this order, not the line. The order is deleted. No risk on this trade yet. And we can clearly see there's a real accumulation here. So there's somewhat of an accumulation up in here. And we can see the real accumulation right here. Okay, and we can see this is the shakeout, right? We got the start of the distro. We got the shakeout here. The only thing we need is for price to go and make a new high. Then this will be that order flow leg, just like how this is that, and then we're looking for something like this to go and make a new high, and ultimately make a new lower time frame high as well. What's this? Okay. Okay, so we haven't made the high. I need to make the high first. That needs to be made first, because then without that, the real accumulation is not confirmed. Okay, there it is. And we can see this is our SC and this is our MC up in here. So taking out all these lows. Oh, I went too quick. Let's do that first. Okay, now looking at this, we can see if we can go down. Yeah, there you go. right? This is the whole move, right? Because when we look at this is the low, this is the new low, this was the high, right? So this was the whole move. We can see price came into about 50% of it. And I would say that 45 minutes looks pretty good. Try 50. No, I'll stick with that 45. Do we have any confluence in that 35-minute candle? Okay, so 50% of that shakeout of the leg is very close to 50% of the 45 minutes candle. Again, it's not a full volume candle, but it's fairly close. Right, yeah, let's take this back. Okay, now, yeah, it's that 50%. Right, and then we can throw a little bit of risk on that. The risk would be that 0.15. Okay, I know we didn't get into it, but we didn't get into here, but we're still with zero risk. And so the booth, the reduced risk, and the break even doesn't really matter. We can go ahead and throw 0.10 into that. Okay, and then I'll break it down, same thing. We will look at 0.05 risk in there, and then once when we make this with a booth, when we come back, I'll look for another 0.05 with the reduced risk, with break even to add on to go and make a new high. Okay, so now let's just recap. Structure is lower time frame bullish, sorry, lower time frame and higher time frame bullish. Order flow is also now bullish. Okay, so we're times 3 essentially. All right, cool. Listen a minute. Let me just drop the new link, guys, real quick. Yeah.